The bigs are taking profits. That means what? Buying opportunities if you can play this right. We'll talk price action at the end, along with advancements in stablecoins. Can we get a vote by the end of this month? Coinbase in some trouble. They leak customer information and now they're being held at ransom.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And happy Thirsty Thursday to you. I'm your host with the most. And before we get into the crypto news, because do we got some going on today, your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. And by the way, have a drink for me because I'm still in recovery mode. Although I did hit a double yesterday. Blockchain Banker says, yup, that bullshit XRPL game that Dogshit Bull Runners channel was shilling cost me 5,000 XRP. Look, here's the warning for y'all. If all of a sudden you see a bunch of channels out there promoting the same thing, usually a bunch of BS eroni, everyone, so be careful. Tommy Izzle says, coffee with Mr. Klaus in the morning, beer with Mr. Klaus in the afternoon. Thank you, sir. You know what my response was, and at nighttime, it's banging it out with the wife. That's a well-planned day, and guess what? You only need to last one more day until you get into the weekend. Manny Kameen says, hey, here's some support. Well, thank you, Manny. Well, Klaus, you got my vote for president. Would you really want this guy as president? Or would you rather see me as the head of the SEC? Bitcoin's in at 102,734. ETH is 2563. We're seeing some players take some profits in the market, but that's doing what? Creating buying opportunities. ADA pumped a lot, now it's in the red a lot. Avalanche pumped a lot, now it's in the red a lot. XRP at 247. We're going to talk a lot about price-wise at the end, but first, we're going to talk Coinbase. Then we're going to talk about stablecoins. They said they might be able to get a vote by the end of this month. That's optimistic. Coinbase expects up to 400 million from cyber attacks this year. Yo, the price of doing business in crypto is wild. Crypto exchange Coinbase said on Thursday, that's today, that's why you hit the subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out, that they expect to incur between 180 and 400 million in costs related to cyber attacks this year. The company said an account data including names, addresses, and emails were stolen for a small subset of its customers, but the attackers did not get access to log in. Look, here's basically what happened, okay? There were some people working at Coinbase, okay? Some staff. And the staff was compromised. And the staff was paid some, money in order to give some naughty people the data. According to the company's CEO, a ransom note was sent to the exchange and threatened to release this data and that could be used to carry out social engineering scams. Coinbase said their aim was to gather a customer list so they could contact while pretending to be Coinbase, tricking people into handling over their crypto. They then tried to extort Coinbase for $20 million to cover this up. We said no. So what happened was these bad players, these naughty players, contacted some people that work at Coinbase and they were like, yo, we know you get paid jack shit. So we're going to give you some money and in exchange, you're going to give us some customer information. And that's what happened. Yeah. The rogue agents involved are said to have gathered personal data including government ID, images, transaction history, names, and details of bank accounts, social security numbers. Yo, that's messed up. So Coinbase, you're in a little bit of hot water. And let me ask you all this out there. Do you trust Coinbase? Any Coinbase users that we got watching right now? Uh-oh. All right, Senate talk. Crypto, stablecoins, bills. Where are we at? Well, let's get to it. U.S. Senate likely to vote on the Stablecoin GENIUS Act by Memorial Day. Oh, okay. Let's get to some quotes because we got some people in the Senate telling us what their expectations are. 9 Senate Democrats withdrew their support for the stablecoin bill, and we know who they are, no big deal. We also had 2 Republican senators withdraw their bill. The 2 Republican senators that withdrew their bill, they basically don't want big mega companies like Amazon and Alphabet to create their own stablecoins to then what? To then turn into large mega conglomerate companies. But let's get to some quotes. It's from Gillibrand. When this language comes out, you'll see really good refinements. They're talking about the new refinement of the bill. A lot of progress on things like consumer protection and bankruptcy protection and ethics, Senator Gillibrand said. The lawmaker added that the bill does not address President Trump's ethic problems because a lot of what the president engaged in is already illegal. This is coming from Gillibrand. Just throwing that out there. Loomis, right, who's the total BTC max, he said she was optimistic that Memorial Day is a fair target for the Senate to vote on the bill. Let's keep learning. I've got more quotes for you. Senator Ruben Gallego, who has helped lead bipartisan talks to the Democrats, said Wednesday evening that negotiations in his party are pretty aligned and that we're in a good space. I think we're like on the 2-yard line, but maybe we'll be pushing back to the 5-yard line. Can't exactly tell. Come on. Don't give us the tip and then pull it out. If you're going to give us the tip, you give us the whole shaft. The bill's lead GOP sponsor, Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee, said the ball is in the Democrats' court. They really like these sports analogies. I like this. We've got bipartisan agreement from a policy standpoint, he said. Question is it going to turn back into another partisan mess like it did last week? I can't imagine being any closer from a policy standpoint. Essentially what he's saying is this. The way the bill is written, the way they've got things outlined in the bill, both sides are happy with it. But we know the Democrats have a lot of Trump derangement syndrome, and they basically don't want to see Trump have any wins. They also don't want to see the Trump family or anyone in the Senate or the House participate in crypto. So yes, it's okay to insider trade stocks, but somehow it's not okay to insider trade crypto. Someone let Nancy Pelosi's husband know that it's still okay that he's the best trader of stocks ever. So, will we get a bill out by Memorial Day? I don't know. The odds are shaping up a little bit more. As you can see, since May 5th, we've had an increase of odds. And by the way, in Polymarket, there's an opportunity to make some money if you get it right. By the way, stablecoin market cap is still roaring up. We're up $500 million here in the last 7 days, with USDT leading the way with 62% dominance. Overall market cap for stablecoins is $242 billion. Crypto volume is starting to come down. This is something we talked about here, saying, yo, how long can this last burst of excitement last? Well, it's starting to fade a little bit. Volume right now at $117 billion. Even the altcoin season index is starting to cool off as well. We had some numbers in the 30s, even the high 30s for a little bit, and now we're peeling back to 24 out of 100. So you're starting to see the alts pull back a little bit. You're starting to see what, everyone? The volume overall pull back. And the trend you're seeing, right, when the altcoins pull back is this. BTC is down 1.2%, but ETH is down 2%, Solana is down 4%, XRP is down 4%, Avalanche is down 6%, Near is down 6%, Aptos is down 6%. Like, you see what I'm saying? BTC is holding its own better than the alts. That's why you're seeing the altcoin score start to shrink. And shrinkage is a real thing. Just go into a cold swimming pool and see what happens to the turtle down under. Now let's swing it on over to XRP price, because that's why a lot of y'all are here. We're at 247, seeing a downward trend over the last 24 hours. I'm still not nervous about this at all. Even though volume, yes, is down 24% to 4.2 billion. Shout out to XRP players out there for giving me a 420 reference this morning. Overall, though, you are seeing an across-the-board pullback in volume. So whether it's the Korean won pairing, the Japanese yen pairing, a USDT pairing, you're definitely seeing a pullback in volume eroding. The 7-day chart looks like this, right? Okay. The 1 month looks like this, right? What are we seeing? People getting to the top, taking some profits, pushing it down. We've seen that with the gold market too, haven't we? Yeah, and the gold market is what? The safe haven play. So we're seeing it on the safe haven play side. We're also seeing it on the risk asset side. And we're also seeing what? We don't necessarily know where we're at right now with the stablecoin bill. We've got players on both sides saying this and both sides saying that. Now let's go to the candlesticks. We're going to take it to the 15-minute Aroni mark. And what I'm looking at to see is if we get to this 242 mark, because the last time we got to 242, we roared right back up to that 265 zone. And we talked yesterday about being range bound, okay? Now our range bound is getting a little bit wider here, so you know where I'm setting my alerts, 242 on the slow end. But you can see right here, clear as day, and I'm going to move this just so you can see it. 3 different candlesticks have gotten us what? 245 support right here here in here. This just happened here over the last couple of hours early this morning. So we've gotten support at the 245. So we have to see if that holds for the rest of the day or if we push right back down. Then we got to see if we test the one that we touched on May 13th. Because the last time we hit that, like I said, we pumped right back up. But that's the trend of the market, right? Going from lows, pumping it up, selling it off, going back on. The crypto market, the stock market, any market you're looking at right now is very, very volatile. You're not seeing green candlestick after green candlestick after green candlestick. In fact, if we go to crypto prices and if we go to the market leader, which is BTC, and you zoom out to the 1 year, you can see that even BTC has done that. Touched all-time highs now several times, sell off, all-time highs, sell off, all-time highs. We kind of moved up to that 102, 103, 105,000. Now you start seeing the sell-off again. It's just following the overall trends in the market. Even Bitcoin's volume is down 11%. So it's not just the alts, but Bitcoin is seeing the softness in price as well. But when we zoom out, we're still looking very, very healthy. And in fact, if we take our candlesticks out just a little bit further, you can see that overall, yeah, we're holding very strongly right now. In fact, I would say that a lot of us would say that XRP above the 230 mark is still very, very bullish. When we get to that 230 and below, that's too much of the friend zone, too much of the boring zone, and that's when the volume goes in the blah zone. But right now, volume is still holding strong. We're going into the weekend, and we're used to what, everyone? Boring weekends. But let's hope it's like last weekend, because last weekend was hot AF. All right, so let's see what the weekend brings us. Hopefully there's nothing wonky with geopolitical events. Hopefully there's no flare-up with any sort of, naughty war or conflict type things, because that could definitely send the markets on down. But you can tell the volume is starting to slowly shrink down. The excitement's starting to come back down as well, and the prices too. But it's still better than what we've seen in previous moves like this. So overall, I still feel good about this. Would I feel better if we had a little bit more support with the stablecoin bill? Yes, I would. Would I feel better if the volume was a bit higher and the prices held maybe a little bit north of 250 rather than the 245 zone? Yeah, of course. Would I like to see BTC pushing all-time highs? Yeah. But we're not there yet. Why? Because we still need the big deal between the United States and China. And we got about 86 days until that deadline happens, so we got some time. Got some volatility till then. And what does that do? It gives you opportunity. So as the bigs take profit, what do? We snipe those deals, baby. So happy Thirsty Thursday. Have one for me, because I got to be a good kid, and today's a recovery day. I actually had a double session yesterday. Thank you very much. So choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches, and I'll catch you later today.